When I tried to use the toString for the cubby, it gave me 3 address locations. That's because it's saying, it's trying to turn it into a string, but cubby is a 2-dimensional array, and this toString method only works for 1-dimensional arrays. So it's going through each each element in the first 1-dimensional array. So it's looking at this and going, oh, there's another array, so I'm going to print the array. So it's going to print the address location for it. So the straight toString method actually doesn't work with a 2-dimensional array, but there is a deep toString, and this will go through and actually print things correctly. What I really like about this print method is we can really see that we have 3 arrays. Here's our first array, our second array, and our third array. We have 3 arrays, each row is an array, and it's all saved in a big outer array. So we can really get the 2-dimensional feel of the array of arrays here, of our 2-dimensional array. So this is a nice method if you do want to print out a 2-dimensional array, and you just need to import the arrays library. Another nice thing in general is to be able to go to the Oracle website for their documentation. Oracle basically owns Java, and they keep up the documentation on Java. So I'm currently using Java 8. It's compatible on a lot of older machines, so I kept this version. There's 9, 10, 11, I'm sure soon we'll have 12, and by the time you're listening to this, something beyond that. But you can put in the version you're using, and you can get the documentation for arrays. So there's a lot of useful methods. I actually want there, Java util arrays, I want this one. There's a lot of useful methods. We've talked about searches already, so you can see that we could just call a binary search method, and depending on whether you have a byte, an array of bytes, an array of chars, array of doubles, array of ints, whatever you need. There's a variety of different searches. You can also just search from an index to an index. And if you feel like the information given is not sufficient and you need to know more, if you double click on this link, just open it in a new tab, then it will give you more information about that method so you can use it more successfully. So if I want to call this binary search method with an array of integers from an index to an index and then give the key, the element I'm trying to find, this explains exactly what happens. And also explains things like what if there's multiple elements. So this documentation is very useful if you want to use any of the built-in methods. So other than the searches, there's also methods for copying arrays, copying just a range of arrays, checking if they're equal. Here's the deep toString that we just used. Fill, there's a method that'll just go through and fill an array, all with the same element. So maybe you want everything to start at 0 or true. This gives you the ability to do that. And there are more methods here than I've used, different sorting methods. And there's the toString that we were using. So with arrays and with so many other things in Java, there's already programs written for them, and if you look up the documentation, it can be very useful.